What if I told you that the most powerful transformation begins not with adding something to your life, but with making yourself completely disappear? Marcus Aurelius, the most powerful man in the ancient world, discovered a secret so profound that it allowed him to transform from a privileged Roman into one of history's greatest philosophers. But here's what nobody tells you about this ancient method. It requires you to psychologically vanish from everything you think you are. You wake up every morning as the same person, trapped in the same patterns, living the same life on repeat. Your identity has become a prison, and you don't even realize you're the one holding the keys. The Stoics understood something that modern psychology is just beginning to grasp. True transformation is impossible while you remain attached to who you currently are. But what does it actually mean to disappear? Think about this for a moment. How many times have you tried to change, only to find yourself sliding back into old habits within days? You set goals, you make promises to yourself, you even see some progress, but then something invisible pulls you back. That invisible force is your identity, and it's working against you 24 hours a day. Your brain literally fights to keep you exactly where you are because change feels like death to your nervous system. Marcus Aurelius faced this same battle, but on an impossible scale. Imagine inheriting absolute power over 65 million people while trying to become a better human being. Every advisor, every senator, every citizen expected him to act like every emperor before him, with ego, with cruelty, with self-indulgence. But here's where the story gets interesting. He chose to disappear instead. The Stoic practice of psychological disappearing isn't about running away from your problems or hiding from the world. It's about dissolving the mental construction of who you think you are so completely that you can rebuild yourself from nothing. But why is this so terrifying for most people? Because your current identity gives you a sense of security, even if that identity is making you miserable. Consider this. Every time you say, "I'm not good at this," or "I'm just not that type of person," you're reinforcing the walls of your psychological prison. Your brain accepts these statements as absolute truth, and then works tirelessly to prove them right. The Stoics called this self-imposed limitation, and they developed a radical solution: temporary self-annihilation. What would happen if you could step outside yourself entirely? Here's the twist that changes everything. Marcus Aurelius didn't just practice this disappearing act once or twice. He did it every single night. In his private journal, which we now call Meditations, he wrote exercises designed to dissolve his imperial identity completely. He would imagine himself as nothing more than atoms temporarily arranged in human form, destined to return to the universe. He would visualize his death, his empire crumbling, and all his achievements turning to dust. This wasn't morbid thinking. It was strategic identity destruction. But the most shocking part? The more he practiced disappearing, the more powerful and effective he became as both emperor and human being. When you stop defending who you are, you become free to choose who you want to be. The Stoic method works because it attacks the root cause of your stagnation, attachment to your current self-concept. Here's how you can apply this ancient technique in your modern life, and I promise you, this will feel uncomfortable at first. Step 1 is what the Stoics called the view from above. Imagine looking down at your life from space, seeing yourself as one tiny human among billions, your problems shrinking to their true size, your job title, your relationship status, your bank account, your social media following. From this perspective, these things that feel so important reveal themselves as temporary arrangements of energy and matter. Step 2 involves practicing what Marcus called morning dissolution. Before you check your phone, before you think about your day, spend 5 minutes deliberately forgetting who you are. Let go of your name, your roles, your history, your personality traits. Become pure, awareness observing itself. This isn't meditation. This is identity obliteration. Step 3 is the most powerful. Start making decisions as if you were already the person you want to become, not the person you currently are. When your old identity whispers, "You're not the type of person who exercises every day," you respond from the void. "I'm not any type of person, I'm choosing what to be right now." The Romans had a saying, memento mori, remember you must die. But the Stoics took this further. Remember, you must disappear every day in order to truly live. When you practice psychological disappearing, you're not losing yourself. You're finding the part of you that was always free to choose. Your old patterns, your limiting beliefs, your automatic reactions, these things can only control someone who believes they are those things. Marcus Aurelius transformed from a potentially corrupt emperor into a philosopher king, not by adding wisdom to his existing identity, but by dissolving that identity completely and choosing wisdom instead. You have the same power, but only if you're willing to vanish first. The question isn't whether you can change, it's whether you're brave enough to disappear long enough to let that change happen. Your transformation is waiting on the other side of your willingness to become nothing. Are you ready to disappear?